Thank you all for joining this unique online virtual meeting. Now, I would like to welcome all the participants and our speaker, Advocate Gaurav Gupta ji and CA Manmohan Mahipal ji, on the fourth day of the virtual CPE meet on litigation under GST. Convert challenges in opportunities. Now, I would like to invite CA Manmohan Mahipal ji for the keynote address.
Thank you, ma'am. It's indeed a pleasure for all of us to have such renowned faculty among us. And it is a wonderful initiative taken by our Jaipur branch that we are learning and getting this kind of opportunity, especially in this era of COVID pandemic. क्योंकि सब कुछ बंद है, लेकिन एक चीज है जो हम अभी भी चालू रख सकते हैं, that is the enhancement of our knowledge. And we are fortunate that these renowned faculties are giving time to us to get that much of knowledge in this GST law. Today's topic, which is given to the speaker of the day, Mr. Gaurav ji, this is the one of the most critical topic, especially for every businessman, because उसको ये लगता है refund ही उसकी एक कमाई है. Actually, everybody is seeing as a earning. And if we particularly talk about the Indian scenario, the refund is the only income he is proposing that he is earning from the whole business. मतलब बहुत सारे businesses ऐसे मिलेंगे जो सिर्फ refund पे ही काम कर रहे होंगे. The margin of the business is the refund only. And there are a lot of challenges in the refund. और ये हमेशा ही होता आया है, जब भी आप डिपार्टमेंट से कुछ मांगने जाते हैं तो आपको वो देने में बहुत सारी अड़चनें आपके सामने पैदा हो जाती हैं. और जब आप रिफंड मांगने जाएंगे तो डेफिनेटली उनको लगता है कि आपने उनसे कुछ उनका अधिकार मांग लिया हो, जबकि वो आपका ही अधिकार बनता है. कुछ एक चैलेंजेस जो है, हम जो डिस्कशन में हमारे आगे आएंगे और वी विल लव टू लिसन फ्रॉम आवर फैकल्टी कि उनको रिजॉल्व भी करें और हमें वो भी बताएं जो चैलेंज हम नहीं देख पा रहे हैं. उनमें से एक हमने रिसेंटली हम बहुत सारे अभी सुनने में आ रहा है कि जब भी हम रिफंड एप्लीकेशन लगाते हैं तो डिपार्टमेंट हमें डिस्प्यूट करता है कि आपने जो वैल्यू ली है वो कौन सी ली है. हम आपको एफओबी वैल्यू पे देंगे, आपके इनवॉइस वैल्यू को डिसरिगार्ड कर देंगे. सो उस कारण से जो है रिफंड की वैल्यू कम होती जा रही है और बहुत सारे शॉकोजेस आ जाते हैं और ये एक रियल ट्रबल टू द बिजनेस है. इसी तरह के कुछ और चैलेंजेस जब हम देखते हैं कि हमारे पास जब भी हम कोई रिफंड फाइल करते हैं तो हम देखते हैं कि जैसे ही 10-15 दिन होने लगे हैं, डिपार्टमेंट विल गिव यू ए डेफिशिएंसी मेमो. और आप देखते हो सब कुछ देने के बावजूद भी ये डेफिशिएंसी मेमो क्यों आ गया. और स्पेशली ये डेफिशिएंसी मेमो उस टाइम ज्यादा प्रॉब्लमेटिक हो जाता है जब आप लिमिटेशन पीरियड को क्रॉस करके दे रहे हो. नॉर्मली जो 2 साल का जो पीरियड लिमिटेशन का है, यदि आप अप्लाइंग एट द एंड ऑफ द पीरियड और उस टाइम यदि आपके पास वो डेफिशिएंसी मेमो आ जाता है तो दिल की धड़कनें बढ़ जाती है, क्योंकि वो आपका रिफंड लिमिटेशन के अंदर टाइम बार होने के चांसेस बन जाते हैं. तो एक हम चाहेंगे इस पे भी हमें एक मार्गदर्शन मिल जाए हमारी फैकल्टी से कि किस तरीके से उसको डील करना है. कुछ एक इश्यूज जो हमें आते हैं कि कई बार हमारे पास ऐसी सिचुएशंस आ जाती हैं कि जहां रिफंड के जो ऑप्शन है RFD 01 में, हमें कौन से ऑप्शन को सिलेक्ट करना है वो हमें पता नहीं चल पाता, क्योंकि वहां पर एक ऑप्शन है एनी अदर ऑप्शन. तो हमें कई बार लगता है कि उसके अंदर ही हम फाइल कर दें. और ये सिचुएशन ज्यादातर हमें उस केसेस में देखने को मिली जहां पर हम क्लेम तो कर रहे हैं आईटी रिफंड C और S का, जबकि हमारे पास उस पीरियड में ITC थी IGST की. इस तरह की कुछ एक एनोमली के लिए हमें एनी अदर का ऑप्शन जाना पड़ता है, लेकिन डिपार्टमेंट्स को हम एक्सप्लेन नहीं कर पाते. तो these are some of the issues. and जब हम सर को सुनेंगे तब हमें शायद और भी पता चलेगा कि रिफंड में किस तरह की प्रॉब्लम्स आ रही हैं और उनको कैसे रिजॉल्व करें. तो we are thankful to the institute and this is now to the ma'am again to start the session.
Thank you so much, Manmohan sir. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce today's speaker, Advocate Gaurav Gupta ji. He's a graduate from Sri Ram College of Commerce, Delhi University, and a law graduate from Delhi University. He's a fellow member of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. He has completed his ESA post-qualification course of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. He has obtained his doctorate in taxation at École Supreme Robert de Souran University of France. He is practicing as an advocate in Delhi High Court and tax tribunals. He is also author to books on many titles on GST, including Goods and Service Tax, Law and Practice Handbook on GST, Law and Practice, GST Hand Guide for Practitioners, GST Manual, GST Referencer, and Manual co-author in that, Audit and Audit Returns in GST co-author. He has authored books on service tax titles also, Service Tax Law and Practice and Service Tax Ready Reckoner. He has contributed to various publications of Indirect Tax Committee of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India and has co-authored compendium on all notifications, circulars, orders, and clarifications and determinations in Delhi Value Added Tax Act 2004. He is author of online resource on GST, www.gstindiaguide.com. He is co-opted member of Strategy Perspective Planning and Monitoring Committee of ICAI for the year 2021 and 22. He is an elected member of Executive Committee of Sales Tax Bar Association Delhi for the financial year 2021 and 22. He's a founder member and executive member of Society for Tax Analysis and Research. He has been a special invitee to the Indirect Tax Committee of ICAI for financial year 2012, 2014, 2015, 2017, 2018, and 2019. He was co-chairman of the Managing Committee of Indirect Tax Practitioners Association, Chhattisgarh, Raipur, India, and members of committees of Sales Tax Bar Association, 2016, 2018, and 2019. He has been Joint Secretary, Sales Tax Bar Association, Delhi, India, for the financial year 2014 and ex-senior advisor to the World Association of Small and Medium Enterprise. He's a member executive of STB for financial year 2021. He has been a convener of Delhi Study Group on GST ICAI 2016 and member Indirect Tax Committee, ASSOCHAM. He has addressed more than 600 seminars or indirect taxes in various forums, seminars, conferences, etc., organized by professional bodies and associations, including PhD Chamber of Commerce, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Institute of Company Secretaries of India, Sales Tax Bar Association, National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Southern Gujarat Commercial Tax Bar Association, etc. He is also a faculty on GST and indirect tax organized by ICAI, GST Commissionerate, etc. He has more than 18 years of experience in indirect taxation, during which he was extensively involved in consulting and litigation of assessees, including multinationals and domestic companies across a range of sectors such as infrastructure, power, education, medical, telecommunication, broadcasting, IT, FMCG, financial services. He specializes in handling enforcements, audits, litigation matters, and indirect taxes in India. He has also worked as a head taxation of listed group and with a tier 1 consulting firms in indirect tax space and had worked on assignments involving provision of opinion and consulting to Fortune 500 companies. What a profile. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Now I would like to enlighten us. Gaurav, sir, I would like you to please enlighten
Atika ji, thank you. Thank you, C. Atika ji. Respected Chairman of the branch, C. Akash ji. Very learned co-speaker, C. A. Manmohan Mahipal ji, who has just complicated things for me more than what it already is. The very respected committee of the Jaipur branch of CIRC of ICAI, members of Jaipur branch, a very good evening to all of you. Friends, आज का topic जो है वो है issues in refunds, basically which are revolving around the exports, SEZ deemed exports. At the outset, let me tell you, there is no end to the disputes in these particular area. आप सब जानते हैं क्लाइंट से पेमेंट लेना कितना मुश्किल होता है यहाँ आप गवर्नमेंट से वापस पेमेंट चाहते हैं तो things will be definitely, they will be tough. But having said so, if a person who has made a rightful claim, then he has every right, that particular right vests in him the moment he fulfills all the conditions of the export. So आपको ये ध्यान रखना है कि क्या क्या conditions हैं, कौन सी conditions जो है वो statute में दी गई हैं, act में दी गई हैं, कौन सी procedural conditions है. Now please at the outset let me tell you the whole dilemma between, or the fight between the act and the rules. I'll not deliberate because every member is aware that rules cannot prevail over the act. So act will be the primary guiding force and rules will have to follow the manner and to the extent. Now please note, to the extent the power to prescribe something has been provided in the act for the rules. So rules cannot go beyond and cannot say 10 things more than what they are supposed to say in the act. And in this particular regime, in GST regime, we have found not one but a number of instances where rules have, in one sort or the other, I would say they have gone beyond the power conferred by them on them by the statute. तो आपको ये ध्यान रखना है how to see that particular condition, how to approach the authorities, and finally the reply which you make. Now, my dear friends, at the outset, I'm telling you very, very clearly on this particular part that the reply which we make and submit to the authority, that has to be complete in all respect. I am putting a small thought with all of you. This refund matters, they have a long drawn litigations which follow. If you are not putting your submissions and your documents at the right stage before the authority, tomorrow at the appellate stages, you will be finding a challenge to bring them on records, because tomorrow the things have not started as on date. But kal ko yehi cheez, additional evidences, if you read the act very thoroughly, there are conditions where only prescribed additional evidences and grounds can be included in the appellate stage. So आप ये ध्यान रखिए कि हमें जो भी डॉक्यूमेंट्स, जो भी सबमिशंस करनी है, वो हमारे फर्स्ट जो एडजुडिकेटिंग अथॉरिटी है उस स्टेज पर बड़ी क्लियरली एस्टैब्लिश हो जाए. Yes, what are the issues? But before I go to the issues, let me discuss for 10 minutes what is the structure of this refund thing. आप सबको पता है IGST Act, it provides the definition and the provision for the refund mechanism on zero rated supplies. Section 16 says you are eligible. What is zero rated supplies? Includes two things. One is exports, the other is the supply to the SEZ unit or the developer. What is export of goods and what is export of services has been defined in section 2, subsection 5 and 6 of the IGST Act. What does it say? Very simple definitions have been provided. Export of goods with its grammatical variation and cognate expression means taking goods out of India to a place outside India. What is India? Again, I'll not go into that particular deliberation. We can find that in section 1 and 2 of CGST Act. But अगर आप कोई भी goods को India से बाहर ले जाते हैं, and there are trade laws onto it, it does not mean that it should necessarily reach the recipient. If you're taking the goods out of India, that will be considered as an export. That is how it has been defined. Number 2, section 2, subsection 6 of the IGST Act defining export of services. Here, the definition is not so simple for the very simple reason, service is an intangible. Goods तो आपने कहा मैंने यहाँ से उठाया और outside India ले गए. Services मैंने इंडिया में एक consulting service दी to a person in UK. Now entire work has been done here and there is no physical item which has gone from India to outside India. So how to establish that export of service? That particular definition lays down some condition. It says export of services means the supply of services when, number 1, the supplier is located in India, the recipient is located outside India. Now, third is the very important condition. The place of supply of service is outside India. Number 4, payment of such particular services has been received by the supplier in convertible foreign exchange or in Indian rupees were permitted by RBI. What are those? Nepal and Bhutan. And number 5, the supplier of services and the recipient of services are not, let me put it in very simple term, branches of each other. The term which has been used is establishment of a distinct person in accordance with explanation 1 to section 8, which is akin to section 25 of the CGST Act. Friends, 5 conditions export of services की तीसरी condition सबसे ज्यादा अहम है, जहां पर अभी questions raise नहीं हुए, but if you go into the service tax era, there are a lot of questions which have been raised. Let me give you some very quick examples on that. आपको मैं 4 example देता हूं. I would request all the members to pay some attention to the example. There is one chartered accountant who is in Jaipur, and he has provided services of consultancy of GST statute, of the implication of GST, some implication of GST on one of the subsidiary of a US company, but the opinion has been issued to the US company. I hope I'm very clear. जो काम था वो था सब्सिडरी का, बट ओपिनियन किसने मांगा? पेरेंट कंपनी ने, जो यूएस में. Will it be an export of service? Let me put it very clearly. Right now I'm not taking any yes or no's or any answers from any members. हम अभी थोड़ी देर में interact करेंगे, but अभी शुरुआत है. So I'm putting some answers before you. Every member has full right to disagree. अभी बहुत टाइम है, जब ये सारे के सारे जितने भी डिसीजंस हैं, ये कोर्ट्स हमारे सामने रखेंगे. बट till that particular point, let us try to argue and arrive at a consensus. What is that particular export? My humble suggestion or submission on this particular issue, this opinion is an export of service. Even though it is relating to the subsidiary in India, even though the entire use will be for the GST purpose, which cannot be used outside India. But since my recipient is outside India, in your case, the place of supply as per section 13, subsection 2, shall lie outside India. The first case. Number 2, there is a company which is again a US company. Gillette का example लेते हैं. Gillette US ने एक particular technology जो है Indian person से पेटेंट में ली और उस पर्टिकुलर टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज करके वो इंडिया में ही सामान बना रहा है. सो द रॉयल्टी विल बी चार्ज फ्रॉम यूएस एंड इट विल बी पेड बाय यूएस, बट इट विल बी यूज्ड बाय दैट यूएस कंपनी फॉर द मैन्युफैक्चर ऑफ दोस गुड्स इन इंडिया ओनली. माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, अगेन इट विल बी एन एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ सर्विस. Many times the officer will try to confuse you with the use. Kindly please do not get misguided with the use. There is no use condition in section 2 subsection 6 of the IGST Act. Export of services simply says the place of supply should be outside India. So place of supply outside India आपको section 13 में मिलेगा. आपको ये देखना if you are falling in any of these specified categories. So that can be an immovable property, that can be use of goods, or that can be the requirement of the physical presence of the person. Or for that matter, there are a number of transportation of goods or services, embarkment, registered person, unregistered person. All the conditions have been laid down in section 13. आपको सिर्फ एक चीज देखनी है, place of supply. You will not be misguided by what? You will not be misguided by the use of services. Moving forward. Now, refund, it has been defined in section 54. Very, very interesting definition, and there are a number of issues again which arise on that definition itself. Refund includes, it is not means, includes refund of tax paid on zero rated supplies of goods or services or both, or on the inputs or input services used in making such zero rated supplies, or refund of the tax on supply of goods regarded as deemed exports, or refund of unutilized input tax credit as provided under subsection 3. Now, my dear friend, this particular definition is a very restrictive kind of a definition. It does not leave scope for other kinds of refunds which may arise and scenarios may arise before all of us. However, we have to live with the definition which has been provided in section 54. I would also like to draw your kind attention to the fact, refund jab government ने define किया, so when they were talking about the refund in case of input services, rather I would say goods or services used in the supply of goods exported or services exported, उस केस में कैपिटल गुड्स को उन्होंने इंक्लूड नहीं किया. सो मनमोहन जी इस इशू को जानते हैं, बहुत पुराना इशू हो चुका है, पर ये लड़ाई अभी तक चल रही है. छोटे से 2 एग्जांपल हैं इसमें. मैं एक्सपोर्टर हूं, मैं पेमेंट ऑफ आईजीएसटी पे गुड्स एक्सपोर्ट करता हूं. तो मैंने अगर 1 करोड़ के गुड्स एक्सपोर्ट करे, आउटपुट टैक्स आईजीएसटी 18 लाख रुपए भरा और गवर्नमेंट से मैं 18 लाख रुपए का रिफंड कैश में मांगता हूं थ्रू माय जीएसटीआर 1. इट इज नॉट थ्रू आरएफडी 01, राइट सर. उस केस में 18 लाख रुपए का रिफंड मुझे कैश में आएगा. नाउ इट इज द चॉइस ऑफ द एक्सपोर्टर हाउ ही pays that 18 lakhs, either by his electronic credit ledger or by his electronic cash ledger. And electronic credit ledger will not make any difference whether that particular credit is that of input services or capital goods. So उसने एक मशीन खरीदी थी 50 लाख रुपए की, उसमें 9 लाख रुपए उसके पास अभी सीजीएसटी आईजीएसटी आया था. उसने अपने 18 लाख में से 9 लाख रुपए उस मशीन का यूज किया और उसने बाकी बैलेंस अमाउंट, आई एम प्रिज्यूमिंग बाकी कोई टैक्स उसके पास क्रेडिट नहीं है, बाकी अमाउंट उसने अपने कैश लेजर से पे करा और गवर्नमेंट उसको 18 का 18 लाख रुपए कैश में दे देगी. सो व्हाट हैज हैपेंड इन दिस केसेस, the gentleman has got the refund of the capital goods, the tax paid on the capital goods. Now we go on to the second class of the exporter. The second class of the exporter says, sir, I want to get the refund without payment of IGST on the export. So what he will do, वो व्यक्ति अपने goods को LUT के अंदर, under LUT, he will export, and once he is exporting, he will file a refund claim of the input services, which whatever tax he has paid on that, by way of RFD 01. Now, my dear friends, in this particular case, this gentleman says, sir, मेरे पास कोई भी टैक्स और नहीं है, मैंने ये 50 लाख रुपए की मशीन खरीदी है, इसमें 9 लाख रुपए का मैंने टैक्स पे करा है. Can he get that? There is a complete bar. He will not be able to get. So there is a disparity which has been created in the two scenarios when the same goods, same class of exporters have been exported, and therefore this is the first dispute which has been, we have come across in a number of cases. But right now there is no relief, there is no respite. Government is not understanding this particular fact that these differences cannot be there under the taxing statute. तो क्या इस केस में हम अप्लाई करें रिफंड? सर, रिफंड तो आप अप्लाई कर दीजिए. अगर आपको नहीं मिलता, it will be credited back to your electronic credit ledger. It is not lost. This battle is on, and I can tell you in some time, maybe courts will be kind enough to understand that there has to be an equality granted under the part 3 of the constitution. So this will flow back to the exporter. Now moving on to the second part. हमने एक्सपोर्ट की डेफिनेशन देखी, कुछ इश्यूज उसमें देखे. Then we saw the disparity in the refund definition itself between the two class of exporters. Now I'm moving on further. Export and SCZ supply both are zero rate. But अगर हम बात करें in terms of can a person supply goods to SCZ unit on payment of tax, the answer is not no. Answer is yes. The question which comes up is, can such person claim the refund of the tax which he has paid on the supply of goods to SCZ? Sir, if you know very, I would say very silently, there was an amendment which was made in section 54 subsection 8, which was effective from 1st of September 2019. 1 सितंबर 2019 को एक अमेंडमेंट इफेक्ट हुई थी. उसके तहत जो क्लॉज ए था 54(8) का क्लॉज ए था, उसको गवर्नमेंट ने अमेंड कर, वहां पे पहले क्या लिखा था, रिफंड ऑफ टैक्स पेड ऑन zero rated supplies of goods or services or both, or on input and input services used in making such zero rated supplies. That word zero rated supplies was replaced by the word exports. So what has happened is the benefit of making a tax paid supply and getting a refund was removed by amending section 54 subsection 8 clause A. Now the clause simply reads, refund of tax paid on export of goods or services or both, or on inputs or input services used in making such exports. So my dear friends, please be very careful. केवल सेक्शन 54 1 2 and 3 नहीं है, नीचे और भी सेक्शंस हैं एंड कॉरस्पॉन्डिंग रूल्स भी हैं जिनको हमें ध्यान रखना। अब यहाँ पर और भी गवर्नमेंट ने क्या करा इस साल, जो अमेंडमेंट कर दी एक्ट में, उन्होंने कहा हम अब एक्सपोर्ट्स में भी टैक्स पेड रिफंड नहीं देंगे, केवल स्पेसिफाइड क्लास, नोटिफाइड क्लास ऑफ एक्सपोर्टर्स को ऑन स्पेसिफाइड गुड्स और सर्विसेज पे ही हम उनको रिफंड देंगे व्हेन दे आर मेकिंग एन एक्सपोर्ट ऑन पेमेंट ऑफ IGST आउटसाइड इंडिया। सो छोटे छोटे ये अमेंडमेंट्स जो हैं, ये पूरी रिफंड की रूपरेखा उसको ये चेंज कर रहे हैं ओवर द पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, एंड दे आर समवेयर रिस्ट्रिक्टिंग the entire export which is there, which is available to the I would say to the exporters. So somewhere an exporter, and I'm telling you this is something which was in the favor of the exporter को पहले on payment of IGST refund automatic आ जाता था, that provision of 90% was very fruitful for him. However, when the automatic refund has been removed, now this gentleman exporter will have to go to the authority and will have to churn through the entire process of presenting the documents, satisfying the proper officer. I'll not comment much on that. The proper officer will then scrutinize, get satisfied, and thereafter he will give the refund. So we have removed an automatic process only because there were some few exporters who were defrauding the government by making false exports or by claiming false input tax credit. आप सबको पता होगा 5000 एक्सपोर्टर्स को गवर्नमेंट ने पिछले साल रेड फ्लैग किया था कस्टम्स ने कि these are suspicious, and there was a huge inquiry which was undertaken entire across the country, और उन सब के डॉक्यूमेंट्स, फिजिकल वेरिफिकेशन, ITC सब चेक किया गया था। सर, even after such a mammoth exercise, the government still feels that we want to club, we don't have a faith on the exporters, and therefore this amendment has been brought into the statute itself. So ye dhyan rakhiyega, abhi this has not been effected, but the day it becomes effective, no person should make a refund on payment of IGST, otherwise there will be a different clause under which you have to claim. It will not come automatically from the government, you will have to claim it under any other amount which has been paid inadvertently to the government. I hope I'm very clear. So there will be two refunds which you will be sitting on. आप जब भी ये इफेक्ट होगा उसके बाद अगर आप कर देते हैं तो ये नहीं है कि this money is lost. This money is yours, but you will have to claim two refunds. One, any amount which is paid inadvertently, पहले आप उसको put forth करेंगे. उससे क्या होगा, आपने जितना कैश लेजर में पे करा है वो आपको कैश में मिलेगा, जितना आपने क्रेडिट लेजर में पे करा है वो आपका रीइंस्टेट होगा क्रेडिट लेजर में. उसके बाद जब वो रीइंस्टेट हो जाएगा, then you will apply again as a exporter which is wanting a refund of the tax paid on input and input services used in making the export. So जो time frame खराब होगा इसमें you will find that there will be people who will lose the export on count of limitation. My dear friends, मैं कुछ issues को थोड़ा सा सीधा टच कर रहा हूँ. I'm not going into basics because the topic is such. Manmohan ji and Akash ji will give me the liberty that I am presuming that we are not talking about basics, we are straight away hitting the issues.
Yes, sir.
Now, I have just spoken about relevant date. Very interestingly, if you read the definition of relevant date, it talks about export of goods, it talks about export of services, it talks about, in case tax payable refundable on other consequences. Sir, what about goods, or what about the supplies made to SEZ? What is the relevant date on in those particular cases? हमें ये झगड़े पहले भी थे, आज भी हैं. We somewhat again apply the definition which is there in export on the SEZ supplies also. But there is a difference between two of it, though process has been defined. If you look into the process, there is a separate process for SEZ. कि आपको जो है officer से endorsed documents for the purpose of claiming the refund for the in the case of SEZ चाहिए, which is not there in the case of exports. So I'll come to that later. That's a separate topic. But let me also, I think for the members, I'll just put on the PPT also before all of you. Sir, is my screen visible to everyone?
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Right, sir. So, sir, the first topic which I just started was the relevant date. Now, in the case of relevant date, जो definition है, that is again given in section 54, explanations, point number 2. Relevant date means. So there is it's a closed definition. It is not a inclusive definition. It is not an open definition. Means A, in case of export of goods which are exported out of India, then there are 3 conditions which have been provided. In case of supply of goods regarded as deemed exports, now 0 rated and deemed are 2 different conditions. So this was copy pasted from a earlier law when there was a deemed case for SEZ also, EOU also, but they didn't incorporate the new version or the version which was required under the GST statute in this particular case. So what does it say? In case of deemed export, then it provides for that particular relevant date. Number 3, in case of export of services, it again provides you. I'll come to export of services very specifically, but the first point which I'm putting across all of you, in case of supplies to SEZ, the relevant date has not been provided within the definition, and therefore there is some open space which any person, for the purpose, of claiming the refund, he has some leeway. In case the limitations are being failed, he can explore putting the refund claim and going into litigation, challenging on this particular ground alone. Number 2, you have to apply within 2 years from the relevant date. Now, my dear friends, you have to be very, very careful. Earlier, this period was 1 year under the erstwhile excise and service tax laws. The government has expanded this particular time frame. Even then, we are finding that there are many friends who fail to file this particular refund within that particular limitation. So be very, very careful. Limitation is something where you cannot go to a court of law and challenge. That's this right has been vested in me. Even though I failed, I am coming after 5 years, filing a refund claim. I'm eligible to get that refund. I am sorry. The courts will not come to your rescue. A number of times this has been seen. Limitation, Eicher Motors Honorable Supreme Court has to be honored when they are provided as part of the statute. But yes, once the entire claim has been made, then there cannot be a limitation. Why I'm saying so? In the case of refunds, we have seen that the first application is made. The officer need to give the refund within 60 days. पहली बात तो 60 दिन में कितने ऑफिसर देते हैं, नहीं देते सर. वो डेफिशिएंसी मेमो इशू कर देते हैं जस्ट टू गेन टाइम, चाहे है या नहीं. अगेन सर्कुलर नंबर 125 वाज वेरी वेरी क्लियर. एक डेफिशिएंसी मेमो के बाद दूसरा डेफिशिएंसी मेमो वो इशू नहीं कर सकते. अगर आपने पहले डेफिशिएंसी मेमो की चीजें पूरी नहीं करी हैं, ही विल reject, but he cannot issue a second deficiency memo just to keep on lingering the refund. That's a very, very positive, I would say, a clarification from the government. So एक ही deficiency memo एक केस में होगा, उसको बड़ा ध्यान से जब भी आप deficiency memo को approach करें, एक point को, so you very clearly say, sir, we are in receipt of your deficiency memo dated so and so, and we are providing a point-wise reply to the requisites called into such deficiency memo, and point by point please reply. Tomorrow when you go to the court, you have every right, to present, my lords, we have provided point by point every reply to every query of this gentleman. So number 1. Number 2, उसने डेफिशिएंसी मेमो इशू किया, आप उसको जब रेक्टिफाई करते हैं अपने कोई भी डेफिशिएंसी को, the officers or the clarification say it has to be within the limitation period. So मैंने मार्च 17 का, मार्च 18 का, मार्च 20 में रिफंड अप्लाई कर दिया, which was within limitation. Now deficiency memo comes in April 20. I am rectifying that in May 7, 2020. My dear friends, this reapplication, so-called, is not reapplication. It is merely the curation of the deficiency memo. It may or may not fall within the limitation period. It is not denied on ground when it is filed after the limitation period. अगर ऐसा कोई भी refund deny हो रहा है, you have every right to take that into litigation. Surely you will win. Number 3, relevant date. Again, in case of services, it has been very categorically provided. My friends will appreciate because services is a intangible thing. गुड्स में ये नहीं है. गुड्स के अंदर आपके पास सामान है, जैसे ही आप इंडिया के कस्टम फ्रंटियर्स को क्रॉस करेंगे, those particular goods, the date it crosses that frontier, so if you are exporting through sea and air, the day it leaves India, so the ship when it is leaving India, that date will be counted. Again, if you are exporting by land, the date when they pass the frontier, so the date when it leaves India, that is the date. But services again is an intangible. How will you know कि जो services है वो किस दिन इंडिया से बाहर गई? मैं आपको again we take a very small example. आपसे consulting मांगी गई, आपने एक opinion दिया, opinion के बाद दोबारा call हुई, call के बाद कुछ नए points incorporate हुए. So there is a series of events which happen. So in case of services, clause C, it provides 2 conditions and it says whichever is later. So what is that? Number 1, receipt of payment in convertible foreign exchange or in Indian rupees were permitted by RBI, where supply of services had been completed prior to the receipt of payment. So या तो पैसा आ गया या बाद में आया. So आपकी invoicing अगर पहले है और आपकी payment बाद में, तो ये ध्यान रखिएगा, payment will become your relevant date. In other cases, it will be the invoicing. And the crucial point which will trouble you tomorrow is section 31. You are supposed to raise the invoices within 30 days. If you are not raising the invoices within 30 days, right now officers are not challenging this. थोड़ा सा टाइम बीतने दीजिए, थोड़ा सा ये एक्ट और मैच्योर होने दीजिए. They will say, sir, the invoices have been issued late. That particular time frame will also be included for the purpose of limitation. So I am supplying a service today. What I'm sitting on, let us say I'm sitting in May 2021. But I am raising an invoice of this particular supply which I made today in export after 6 months. I am supposed to raise the invoice within 30 days. So जो 5 महीने मैंने delay करे, I can bet upon that tomorrow, after another 1 year, you will find that this 5 months will also be looked into by the officers, will be included in the limitation when you are counting the period of limitation for the application of export. Right, sir? So relevant date. अभी तो आप देखते हैं, मतलब we anything you touch in refund, there is a issue which crops up in even a simple definition. Moving further, refund claimed under wrong provision. I think Manmohan ji also raised this point. मैंने application file करी, application file करते हुए मैंने गलत head के अंदर उसको file कर दिया, एक गलत selection कर दी. My dear friend, if you are making any application and you have chosen a wrong provision, please do not get into any kind of the refunds cannot be rejected merely on this particular ground. I am making it very clear. You may take a reference of again Delhi High Court Division Bench decision. Refunds cannot be denied because they were claimed under a wrong provision. It is the decision in case of TMA International Private Limited versus Union of India. And again, the procedural errors were put into a backseat if the legitimate claim is correct from the SS. So ये आपको ध्यान रखना है कि आपका जो claim है वो proper है. अगर आपने procedurally कोई गलती कर दी, कोई प्रोविजन गलत अप्लाई कर दिया, ये डिसीजन आपको मदद कर देगा. Again, there are powers which are there with the officers where they can hold back your refund. Now, before I come to that, under 54(3, again, there are 2 points where the refunds will not be given to you. Number one, where the goods which are exported are subject to export duty. Sabko pata. Number two, where the supplier of goods or services avails drawback in respect of central tax or claim refund of IGST on such particular supplies. Drawback has been one of the biggest disputes, primarily in the earlier period. You know, the initial 9 months up to September 2017 mainly, जितने claims file हुए थे उस period के अंदर higher rate की choice दी गई थी और higher rate जिसने claim कर लिया था उसको refund allow नहीं किया. I'll come to this point a bit later because again the Honorable High Court has given relief where the assessee is able to establish that there is no higher rate per se which has been claimed. So I'll come to that in a while. Under 5410, the officer can withhold your refund. अगर आपने कोई भी return furnish करने में you have defaulted या आपने कोई भी tax payment जो आपको करनी थी वो आपने अगर कोई भी default करी है, that refund can be withheld. These are very, very wide powers, and you have seen even Commissioner has been given wider powers to withhold that refund. So I'm just parking the provisions with you. You will have to see that the compliance in terms for an exporter is very, very important. Kindly please file your returns and pay your taxes in time in order for a smooth flow of refunds for that particular exporter. Now, the refund has to come within 60 days. We all know. Agar 60 days ke beyond jata hai, then you are legitimate for a particular rate of interest at the rate of 6%. So agar wo delay hota hai aur aapke refund order mein interest nahi aaya hai, again you can make a claim for the interest which has not been given to you under that particular refund application. ये सबको पता है, मैं इस पॉइंट पे ज्यादा नहीं कहूंगा कि आफ्टर 2019 the cross power कि स्टेट ऑफिसर सेंट्रल ऑफिसर का टैक्स दे सकता है, सेंट्रल ऑफिसर स्टेट टैक्स को रिफंड दे सकता है. सो दैट क्रॉस jurisdiction has been to the benefit and is saved. पहले क्या होता था, रिफंड ऑर्डर पास होता था, उसके बाद the assessee will need to run with both the authorities to get separate refund sanctions after the order so that it can be credited into his account. So ये जो एक dilemma था, ये एक जो problem थी आपके सारे assessees की taxpayers की, that has been relieved by the government. Now one authority gives you the complete refund of both central tax and state tax and IGST also. Manual processing, no manual application will be filed or would have been filed after 26th of September 2019. ये कुछ pointers हैं जो आपको ध्यान रखने हैं कि कब तक manual application allowed थी. So that was 26th of September 2019. उसके बाद the entire thing has been put to rest. Now, sorry, refund एक pre-import condition है. Again, that is I'll just come to, because that dilemma has been created by the decision of Honorable Gujarat High Court in the case of Cosmo Films. I'll just come to that because that's a long discussion. Let me just touch on the other points. The next point which you have to keep in mind is the claim of tax paid on supplies to SCZ. मैंने SCZ को supply करी, मैं LUT अंदर नहीं करी. Can the SCZ claim the refund? Under the rules there is a bar. I'll take 1 second. I think some internet issue. Atika ji, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Right. Thank you. जब फेस टू फेस होते हैं तो पता चल जाता है कि सामने वाकई चीज जा रही है, आवाज आ रही है, नहीं यहाँ पे एक स्क्रीन के सामने पता भी नहीं चलता कि वेदर the entire thing is going seamlessly or not. So apologies. Now I was speaking about the claim of tax paid to SCZ. Their restriction for claiming the refund by the SCZ on such supplies is there, but there is no bar in the statute. So the authorities have been denying the claim. But again, if you are into such a situation, my humble suggestion would be it is a matter to be litigated that refund is eligible and that person will be eligible to get that particular refund. So please do consider that particular point. One of the parallel points which is there is when is reverse charge liability to be paid by SCZ units. क्यों सर मैं पे करूंगा और उसका रिफंड लेना पड़ेगा? Unfortunately, there is no exemption other than one which has been granted to the reverse charge liability payment by the SCZ unit. Ideally, what should have happened is government को खुद ही exemption दे देनी चाहिए थी under the IGST notification कि अगर कोई SCZ unit को reverse charge में liability pay करनी पड़ती है, it is exempted. But unfortunately, this exemption is not there. So therefore, in this particular case, the SCZ unit need to pay and claim a refund. I understand there are other expert views also on that, which goes beyond and says that it is merely a procedural part. Ideally, there is no liability. But if something has not been given, an exemption, Dilip Kumar and Company, 5-member bench, Honorable Supreme Court. अगर आपको कोई भी exemption claim करनी है, that need to be proved by the SSC, not by the department. अगर डिपार्टमेंट ने कोई टैक्स लेना है दैट हैज टू बी प्रूव्ड बाय द डिपार्टमेंट नॉट बाय द एसएससी. बहुत सिंपल रूल है. सो ये देख लीजिएगा कि आपने अगर एससीजेड में रिवर्स चार्ज नहीं दिया देन इट इज योर लायबिलिटी टू प्रूव अंडर व्हाट प्रोविजन ऑफ द लॉ you have not paid that particular reverse charge liability. Is there any exemption or any exclusion given to the SCZ? Mere but obvious common sense cannot help the assessee. There is also a condition of authorized operation in case of SCZ. Goods should be goods or services which have been procured by the SCZ should be used for authorized operation. My dear friend, what about the goods or services which are supplied to the SCZ unit for non-authorized operation? Now again, there is a difference, there is a dilemma, because such a particular distinction is created between the act and the rules. It is not a bar in the act, but the rules, they travel beyond. Now, before I go on to this particular deliberation, I'll just come back jitna unko kaha gaya. Now, what is the power which has been conferred in the rules is, sorry, under section 54, the method which is to be prescribed has to be prescribed by the rules. The right or any restriction on the right is only to be given by the statute. Now I'll read out 54(1). Any person claiming refund of any tax or interest, if any, paid on such tax or any other amount paid by him may make an application before expiry of 2 years from the relevant date in such form. So form कौन provide करेगा? Rules provide करेगा. And manner as may be prescribed. So my dear friend, there is no substantial condition which can be prescribed by the rules. It is only the manner कि आपको कैसे लेना है, procedure क्या रहेगा, और आपको कौन से form number में apply करना है, that can be prescribed. But if we look into the rules, rules are going beyond. Very interestingly, now this is also one of the topics which I was wanting to take. 89, Rule 89, which talks about the refund application and the process. Under sub-rule 4, the definition of turnover of zero-rated supply of goods was amended, clause C, and it was amended to bring in a very substantial condition. It says means the value of zero-rated supply of goods made during the period, relevant period, without payment of tax under LUT or bond, or value which is 1.5 times the value of like goods supplied domestically, supplied by the same or similarly placed supplier as declared by the supplier, whichever is less. Now sir, मैंने एक सामान भेजा 1 करोड़ रुपए का, इंडिया से बाहर भेजा, उसकी वैल्यू 1 करोड़ रुपए मैंने अपने इनवॉइस में डिक्लेयर करी। सेक्शन 15 मेरे को जीएसटी कानून के तहत वैल्यूएशन का पूरा प्रोविजन बताता है। सो सेक्शन 15 रेड विद द रेलेवेंट रूल 28 to 33 मैंने फॉलो किए। इंडिपेंडेंट पार्टीज हैं। अब मनमोहन जी और मैं दोनों एक्सपोर्टर्स हैं। मनमोहन जी जो हैं वो एक्सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं शर्ट, बट उनकी जो शर्ट्स हैं वो एक्सक्लूसिव ही है, उसका डिजाइन एक्सक्लूसिव है। मैं जो शर्ट्स कर रहा हूं उतनी एक्सक्लूसिव नहीं है, बट एक्सपोर्ट तो कर ही रहा हूं सर। सो मैं भी एक्सपोर्टर, वो भी एक्सपोर्टर, दोनों के सेम एचएसएन के अंदर शर्ट्स जो एक्सपोर्ट हो रही हैं। सिमिलर मटेरियल कॉटन की शर्ट्स हैं दोनों के दोनों, और दोनों के अंदर जो है ऑलमोस्ट सारे जो कंपोनेंट्स हैं सेम, बट एक व्यक्ति एक ब्रांड है और दूसरा व्यक्ति एक ब्रांड नहीं है। सो जो ब्रांड नहीं है उसकी शर्ट जा रही है पर पीस 5,000 रुपए में, और जो ब्रांड है उसकी शर्ट जा रही है 50,000 रुपए। नाउ मनमोहन जी व्हेन ही गोज टू द कस्टम अथॉरिटी, वो उनको 89 फोर्स कहते हैं। सर आपने पढ़ा है 89 फोर्स सी? कहते हैं क्या है सर? कहते हैं आपकी वैल्यू ऑफ जो शर्ट है जो आपने एक्सपोर्ट करी है उसका रिफंड के लिए जो फॉर्मूले के लिए हम आपकी वैल्यू लेंगे, वो कितनी लेंगे? वो लेंगे हम जो आपने 5 टाइम्स ऑफ लाइक गुड्स डोमेस्टिकली सप्लाइड बाय सेम और सिमिलरली प्लेस्ड सप्लायर। सो गौरव जो है वो 5,000 रुपए में मार्केट में ऐसी ही कॉटन की शर्ट बेच रहा है, तो आपका कितना बन गया रिफंड? 7,500 रुपए हम आपकी शर्ट की वैल्यू लेंगे सर। अब मनमोहन जी एक्सक्लूसिव सप्लायर थे, उनकी जो शर्ट थी वो डिजाइनिंग के 20,000 रुपए खर्च करते थे पर शर्ट। उस चीज को अब चैलेंज डिपार्टमेंट करेगा कि सर है तो कॉटन की शर्ट। नाउ दिस टर्म विच इज सिमिलरली प्लेस्ड और सेम, सर वेरी सब्जेक्टिव टर्म्स।
ये हमेशा से ही विवाद का इशू रहा है। मतलब एक कार, नैनो भी एक कार
There has
है।
always been challenge into these particular terms. What do you mean by same or similarly? Can I, sir, is anyone mentioning something?
No, I'm just saying कि it is just like comparing a Nano with the Mercedes, that both are the cars. तो आप किसका प्राइस लेंगे?
सर नैनो और मर्सिडीज में तो फिर कुछ आपको दिख जाएगा। मैं तो सेम शर्ट्स की बात कर रहा हूँ जहां पे सिर्फ डिजाइनिंग, आपको एक नाइकी का जूता और एक नॉर्मल जूता, उसके अंदर फर्क ज्यादा नहीं होता, बट जो एरोडायनेमिक्स होते हैं दे मैटर। नैनो और मर्सिडीज में फिर भी आपको अपरेंट फर्क दिखेंगे, बट देयर आर थिंग्स where there are no apparent differences, but there are a technology which is driven by the IP. And my humble request, मनमोहन जी आपने पूछा था सवाल या किसी सज्जन ने पूछा था? और मतलब आई जस्ट वांट कि वो भी स्क्रीन पर आए ताकि हम कम्युनिकेट कर पाए। So I request all the members to be a part of the discussion, but yes, please just come so that we can interact. I cannot see the person who is interacting with me. So my dear friend, I hope you can understand the complexity. It's a very subjective issue. और अगर आप ऑफिसर होंगे तो आप तो नैनो और मर्सिडीज को भी सेम कर सकते हैं। Somewhere or the other, these things will definitely be challenged.
डिपार्टमेंट यही करने वाला है।
हम मनमोहन जी क्या कह रहे हैं?
डिपार्टमेंट यही करने वाला है सर, और ये बहुत बड़ा इशू आएगा।
सर ये इशू आएगा, दो बातें। आपकी कस्टम अथॉरिटीज ने के ऊपर कोई बार नहीं दिया। हाउ कैन अ रूल by mere a definition, when the rule was supposed to provide only the form and manner, can bring a challenge of valuation? So my dear friends, this particular thing will not stand. It is already under challenge and it will come into the favor of the SSC for sure. आपने जिस वैल्यू पे एक्सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं गुड्स, वो वैल्यू डिपार्टमेंट को एक्सेप्ट करनी पड़ेगी, बिकॉज दीज आर बिटवीन टू इंडिपेंडेंट पार्टीज। एंड मोर सो अगर मैं इसकी बात करूं तो गवर्नमेंट ने अपना केस खुद वीक कर लिया है बाय इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ रूल 96B। मनमोहन जी प्लीज।
सर इसी के साथ में सर एक क्वेश्चन जो मैंने पुट किया था कि डिपार्टमेंट एफओपी वैल्यू और सीआईएफ वैल्यू को एक डिस्प्यूट पैदा कर रहा है आजकल, तो उसको भी जरा क्लैरिफाई कर दें यहीं पे। तो
सर देखिए एफओबी वैल्यू और सीआईएफ वैल्यू के बीच का जो फर्क है वो हम सबको पता है। मेरी जो ट्रांजैक्शन वैल्यू है, जो मेरे को सेकंड पर्सन के साथ मैंने जो डील करी है, दैट कैन बी ऑन एफओबी और दैट कैन बी ऑन सीआईएफ. There is no mention of CIF or FOB in the rules or the act. This particular dilemma or this particular issue is fictitiously created by the department. In my humble opinion, the transaction value will sustain, and transaction value will be as per section 15. If CIF is the term, then CIF value will be taken. If FOB is the term, FOB value will be taken. You cannot bring an artificial bifurcation into the valuation by whims and fancies. करना है सर, सेक्शन 15 को अमेंड कर दीजिए, आप उसके रूल्स को अमेंड कर दीजिए, एक नया रूल ले आइए, रूल 33 तक है, एक रूल 33A आ जाएगा. वी आर वेरी फॉन्ड ऑफ ABCD, सो वी नो हाउ टू अकोमोडेट दैट. सो एक नया रूल आ जाएगा, उसके अंदर आप लिख दीजिए bring that restriction. Once you bring that restriction, then definitely we will see to it. Right now I'm not closing the topic, but still I would say the transaction value between independent parties will subsist. It will be overriding all other provisions unless the very section is changed by the department. It is only under section 15 subsection 4 which talks about two scenarios. Number one, when it is under the transaction is between related party. Number two, when the transaction is for a value other than money, in kind transactions what we call. इन दो केसेस के अंदर ही डिपार्टमेंट चैलेंज कर सकता है, उसके अलावा वैल्यूएशन को बिटवीन टू इंडिपेंडेंट पार्टीज कोई चैलेंज नहीं कर सकता. बहुत बड़ी सवाल आया है लोकल डोमेस्टिक सप्लाईज में भी. मैंने 100 रुपए का सामान खरीदा, 80 में बेच दिया, क्या 20 रुपए पे रिवर्सल होगा? नहीं होगा.
थैंक यू सर.
वेरी वेरी क्लियर, वेरी ट्राइट, सिंपल लॉ. चलिए सर, मूविंग फर्दर. नाउ एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग इशू, थोड़े दिन पहले डीआरआई ने बहुत सारे नोटिस इशू करे थे टू अ लॉट ऑफ एक्सपोर्टर्स, ये कहते हुए कि आपने एडवांस ऑथराइजेशन व्हिच इज अंडर चैप्टर 4 ऑफ द एफटीपी फॉरेन ट्रेड पॉलिसी, आपने बेनिफिट हमसे लिया है कस्टम्स से, और आपने जीएसटी का रिफंड भी ले लिया. सो आपने दोनों बेनिफिट ले लिया ऑन द सेम एक्सपोर्ट. सो वी योर एडवांस ऑथराइजेशन will need to be returned back, and therefore you are supposed to pay the duty which was waived on your imports at that time. So ये DRI ने बहुत सारे notices जो हैं issue करे थे अभी पीछे. My dear friends, अगर ये demand customs से आई है, because there is a bar which is given under the GST statute, that demand under customs will not subsist. कस्टम्स की डिमांड उस चीज के ऊपर सस्टेन नहीं कर पाएगी. अगर वो डिमांड करनी है तो जो रिफंड आपने इशू करा है, और वो भी जो रेस्ट्रिक्शन रूल 89 के तहत आपके ऊपर लगाई गई थी या 96 के तहत जो लगाई गई थी, दोनों रूल्स को देख के, और उसके अंदर भी स्पेसिफिक नोटिफिकेशंस पे, चाहे वो 78 था, 79 था, 40 था, किस नोटिफिकेशन की किस कंडीशन पे, वो जीएसटी की रेस्ट्रिक्शन है. अगर कस्टम अथॉरिटीज एडवांस ऑथराइजेशन की ड्यूटी मांगती हैं, वो इन माय हम्बल ओपिनियन दैट इज कंप्लीटली रॉन्ग. उसका बहुत सिंपल एक रीजन मैं आपको देता हूं. इफ यू लुक इनटू द कंडीशंस ऑफ एडवांस ऑथराइजेशन व्हिच इज गिवन अंडर द एफटीपी, दे हैव नॉट बीन लिंक्ड टू जीएसटी. वहां पे कोई बैरियर नहीं है कि आपने जीएसटी का रिफंड लिया या नहीं. वो बैरियर कहां पे है? वो जीएसटी के कानून में है, टुवर्ड्स द बेनिफिट टेकन अंडर द कस्टम्स एक्ट. So you cannot create a vice versa automatic demand. Reading the GST law, creating a demand under the Customs Act. So ये चीज का थोड़ा सा ध्यान रखिएगा. फ्री इंपोर्ट ऑथराइजेशन स्कीम के अंदर जो कंडीशंस प्रोवाइड करी गई है, वहां पर कोई भी कंडीशन आपकी जीएसटी के रिफंड को एक बैरियर की तरह, एक कंडीशन की तरह नहीं प्लेस करती. जो भी आपका कस्टम के अंदर ये है वो सस्टेन करेगा. बट हाँ, जो चैलेंज जीएसटी अथॉरिटीज के साथ आएगा, वी विल सी कि कौन से नोटिफिकेशन की हमने बेनिफिट ली है, और उसके अंदर भी एक और बेनिफिट गवर्नमेंट ने दिया है कि कोई व्यक्ति जो जीरो रेटेड सप्लाई करता है, he will be eligible to claim the refund on other goods and services. So जिस पे एडवांस ऑथराइजेशन दिया, उसके अलावा जो बाकी गुड्स और सर्विसेज है, उसका रिफंड वो ले सकता है. So there are multiple conditions which exist in this particular scenario. Be very, very careful. There are n number of reasons which I gave in my reply to the custom authorities, whereby I spoke that number one, you will have to go by the FTP. Number two, refund on exports have always been available in past on imports made under advance authorization, even when the refunds were available under excise and service tax. So that was also one of the submissions which we took in these particular cases. Again, restriction on refund in case of advance authorization जो एक्ट में प्रोवाइड करी गई है वो जीएसटी में करी गई है, ना कि कस्टम्स में. सो इन चीजों को आप थोड़ा सा ध्यान रखिएगा. Not every case can be applied interchangeably between customs and GST. Right, sir? Coming on to the next issue. Refund when forex not received in case of exports of goods. एक condition by way of Rule 96B, recovery of refund of unutilized ITC or IGST paid on export of goods when proceeds are not realized. Now this rule came under what power, I don't know. But this rule came. And this rule was inserted from 23rd of March 2020. Very interestingly, it said कि where any refund has been given, I'm making it short for the purposes of saving time and to context only, to the extent of non-realization of sale proceeds along with applicable interest within 30 days of expiry of the set period, or as the case may be, the extended period, failing which the amount refunded shall be recovered from the exporter under 73 or 74. Now, my dear friend, export की definition हमने देखा section 2 subsection 5 IGST है. उसमें कहीं कोई receipt of payment का जिक्र नहीं. हमने export of service section 2 subsection 6 देखा. उसके अंदर realization का जिक्र था. So export of services में I will say be very careful that you realize the receipts. हाँ, आपसे late हो गया. एक क्वेश्चन ये भी आता है कि विद इन द टाइम परमिटेड बाय आरबीआई. सर, माय हम्बल ओपिनियन, आई विल जस्ट टेक यू बैक टू द डेफिनेशन. दैट डेफिनेशन nowhere says, if we look into it, it says the payment has been received. It is not saying within the time provided by RBI. So I will not like to add on the terms by way of rules which are not provided in the act. So services में payment आनी चाहिए. लेट आ गई कोई बात नहीं सर, आपको हो सकता है एक बार रिफंड करना पड़े, बट वो पैसा आपको वापस रिफंड मिल जाए. बट गुड्स के केस में जो 96B है वो सिंपल ये कहता है कि सर अगर आपने नहीं, आपके पास पैसा आया तो फिर आपको जो है, जो आपको रिफंड मिला है वो वापस करना पड़ेगा. फेलिंग व्हिच इट विल बी रिकवर्ड फ्रॉम यू इन द मैनर प्रोवाइडेड अंडर सेक्शन 75. माय डियर सर, इट फर्दर सेज, नाउ दिस इज गोइंग deeper into the conditions where the sale proceeds are realized by the applicant in full or part after the amount of refund has been recovered and the applicant produces evidence of realization within a period of 3 months from the date of realization of sale proceeds. The amount recovered shall be refunded by the proper officer to the applicant to the extent of realization of the proceeds provided. Now see the condition. The sale proceeds have been realized within the extended period as permitted by RBI. Sir, ना तो एक्ट ने कहीं ये पावर दी आपको कि आप उस रिफंड को रेस्ट्रिक्ट कर दें, ना कहीं पे भी डेफिनेशन ने कंडीशन रखी. जब ये कंडीशन है ही नहीं, हाउ कैन अ न्यू रूल आउट ऑफ नोवेयर restrict the very right of the SSC and claim back the refund which was rightfully given to him? So in my humble opinion, 96B, the wires of 96B will also be challenged in the court of law and will be, the court should be kind to grant this particular decision in the favor of the taxpayer. It is totally against the very principles that what are the limits within which the rule has to work. The rule cannot go beyond and start defining anything and everything. Otherwise, the rule and the act, and for that matter, the notification and the circulars, everything will lose एक स्थान है और इनकी एक अपनी हायरार्की है. Anything which is below the Act will have to follow the guidance or the guidelines within which those particular things can be prescribed by the rules, notified by the notifications, or clarified by the circulars. It cannot create a new law beyond the statute itself. Now, sir, moving further, I am coming on to the next issue. Return of goods back to DTA by SEZ units. Interesting topic, very simple to understand because in normal circumstances, आपने एक SEZ को supply करे under LUT, so you will not be paying any GST on that. But when you are getting back those particular goods, then in that particular case, a bill of entry will be filed because now you are getting a clearance from a custom area which is beyond the custom stations of India, and therefore in these particular cases you will have to pay the duty as applicable on those particular goods. So please keep in mind, in case the goods are going for some repair or other purpose, suitable declarations should be made by the DTA that these particular goods will be returned to the DTA unit after the work or after the repair or any other item which is made. Again, a small, very quick mention. The bill to SEZ unit and ship to DTA unit. This is again a issue because again, as I said, you have multiple kinds of scenarios in front of you. Same will be the case when you are billing to a company outside India, but shipping those goods to a person in India. Bill to ship to does not happen in services. Bill to ship to only happens in goods. So you're billing to SEZ or a company which is outside India, but shipping the goods at the instruction of such particular company to a person in India. My dear friend, in those particular cases, it will not be considered as a supply of goods which will be qualifying for zero rated. In those particular goods, applicable tax will be levied on those particular goods or services. However, in my humble opinion, while in the case of exports, the clause is fine. The clause should live. But in case of services, to that particular extent, I would say government should come out with suitable relief in these particular cases because SEZ again will be billing those particular supplies to the third party. But yes, bill of entry will not be filed. That is also something to be seen. So this is a bit complicated an area when there is a bill to ship to transaction with SEZ when the goods are in domestic tariff area only. So look into these kinds of transactions. They are also causing a lot of issues in terms of transactions with SEZ and even in the case of refunds. Moving further, बहुत settled issue है अब ये. Earlier it was a problematic issue. Refunds when multiple tax periods are there. What are multiple tax periods? मैं 2 साल का रिफंड इकट्ठे अप्लाई करना चाहता हूँ, क्या मैं कर सकता हूँ? सर पहले ये इशू था, ऑनरेबल दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट settled this particular issue with Amra books. The issue was settled that there is no restriction of clubbing the tax periods, and therefore this was held in favor of the SSC. Accordingly, the government omitted the clarification which was given under circular number 125. It, I think, has issued another circular number 135 in 2020, whereby this particular condition mentioned in 125 was removed in line with the order of the Honorable Delhi High Court. So this issue now is settled. Multiple tax periods. The issue which will still remain. Now this is very, very interesting to understand. The issue which will still remain is आपका जो लिमिटेशन है, क्या वो लिमिटेशन पर सप्लाई ऑफ गुड्स के हिसाब से देखा जाएगा, या when the application is given it will be seen as a whole. My dear friends, since there is no statutory limit, अगर कोई स्टैट्यूटरी कंडीशन होती कि आप 4 महीने का रिफंड, 5 महीने का, 6 महीने का एक साथ ही अप्लाई कर सकते हैं, तब उस केस में जो लास्ट इवेंट होती है वहां से रिफंड देखा जाता है. I have myself argued this particular case in the case of Penta Software before the Honorable Chandigarh High Court. अगर ऐसी कोई कंडीशन नहीं है, then this will go in the favor of the revenue. and then every supply limitation will be tested independently. So there are 10 supplies in a refund application. Every supply will be seen as an independent supply from the perspective of limitation. Maybe 9 will fall within limitation. The one which is falling outside limitation will not get the benefit of this particular thing. However, complicating things further, what is refund? Refund is the refund of the amount which we pay on the taxes you on goods or services used in the export of goods or services. अब मैं आपको एक सिनेरियो दे रहा हूं. मैंने आज एक्सपोर्ट किया इन मार्च 2021, बट जो उसके कॉरस्पॉन्डिंग मेरी सर्विसेज के इनवॉइसेस थे वो सारे के सारे
सर आपकी वॉइस नहीं आ रही.
021 में आए. नाउ द
हाँ सर, एक बार आप प्लीज रिपीट कर दीजिए.
सर कहां से मैं ब्रेक कर गया? सॉरी, आई वाज इन अ फ्लो. आई मिस.
आप एग्जांपल की एनालॉजी दे रहे थे वो वाला.
Right, sir. So I'll start again. I have exported some goods or services in March, but corresponding to those particular goods or services, I have received the services after 4 months. After 4 months, I don't have any export. The kind of formula which has been placed in Rule 89 does not allow me to take that particular, tax which has been paid later within the embed. So I have to make a claim. I have to make a claim combining the tax periods. Now the problem is limitation will remain from the date when the goods are exported out of India, but जो उसके corresponding supplies हैं, inward supplies हैं, वो उसके बाद आ रहे हैं. So कहीं ना कहीं पे there are so many complications. No formula can take care of those particular complications. We have seen in cases when monthly refunds were applied. So there is a leeway, there is a space for taxpayer. Now I'm using some thing very responsibly, some words very responsibly. The taxpayer can play with the amount of refund if he is smart enough to understand the formula, how that has to be placed between DTA supplies and zero rated supplies. फॉर्मूला जो है वो इस चीज को जिस तरीके से फ्रेम किया गया है, एक व्यक्ति अपनी एक्सपोर्ट्स के अंदर प्रीपोन कर सकता है डीटीए की इनवर्ट सप्लाईज को, पोस्टपोन कर सकता है डीटीए की इनवर्ट सप्लाई को, डिपेंडिंग ऑन कि किस महीने में मेरा एक्सपोर्ट ज्यादा है या कम. सो कहीं ना कहीं पे वो फॉर्मूला जो है, अगेन it can run to the detriment of the department, it can run to the detriment of the SSC, but one has to be very very careful that agar dhyan nahi kara तो there can be cases which we have seen where a major amount is lost because merely that formula is provided in a manner which does not factor one-to-one kind of a I would say जो one-to-one उसकी correlation होती है export के साथ, वो नहीं करता. तो मैं छोटा सा एग्जांपल लेता हूँ. मैंने आज 100 रुपए का एक्सपोर्ट किया, उसके अगेंस्ट 80 रुपए की मेरे पास सप्लाईज थी, इनवर्ट सप्लाई, और मैंने डोमेस्टिक सप्लाई भी करी, वो भी 100 रुपए की करी, बट उसके अगेंस्ट मेरे पास डोमेस्टिक सप्लाई के अगेंस्ट मेरे पास जो इनवर्ट सप्लाई थी वो थी मेरे पास 60 रुपए की. अब इस महीने में क्या हुआ, जिस महीने में मैंने डोमेस्टिक सप्लाई करी थी उस महीने के अंदर मेरे पास सारे के सारे इनवॉइसेस आ गए इनवर्ट सप्लाईज के, और केवल 20 रुपए की इनवॉइसेस मेरे उस महीने में रह गए जिसमें मेरा एक्सपोर्ट हुआ. सो आई एम लूजिंग अ ह्यूज अमाउंट, and if every month I'm exporting, the ratio of export vis-a-vis my domestic sale will vary and will give me different results if I am not smart enough to understand the ratio. Try to be genuine as max as possible, but try also not to be befooled by this particular formula, by not taking care of this formula. क्योंकि अगर आपका जिस महीने में डोमेस्टिक सप्लाई ज्यादा है, अगर वहां पर आपके आईटीसी सबसे ज्यादा प्लेस हो गया, you will be a loser in your refund claim. So look into these particular things carefully, sir. Coming on to the next issue, invoices not appearing in GSTR 2A. I think this particular issue has been in debate between the department and the taxpayers, not in only in exports but in domestic arena also. किसी के पास सप्लाई आई, उसके पास जीएसटीआर 2A में एंट्री आ गई, तब भी डिपार्टमेंट कहता है सर 2A की एंट्री को हम नहीं देखेंगे, आपके सप्लायर जो है बोगस. Now there is no term called bogus or fake in the entire act, but these are terms which we all understand. तो वहां पे भी रिकवरी हो रही है, मतलब 2A को रेलिवेंट नहीं माना है. और जहां पे 2A में एंट्री नहीं आ रही, सारी सप्लाई प्रूव हो गई, जो टैक्स पेयर है सामने वाला वो भी है, सर 2A में एंट्री नहीं आ रही इसलिए आपका क्रेडिट आपको नहीं मिलेगा. सो इन बोथ द केसेस आ रही है, एसएससी के सप्लाई को एस्टेब्लिश करने के लिए सप्लायर नहीं है, तो भी recipient is the loser. If it is not coming in 2A, then 2A becomes the god, and then again recipient is the loser. In my humble opinion, my dear friend, Rule 36(4), which is the only rule which is linking itself to 2A or 2B, whatever, it still does not have the statutory power. It does not have a backing from the Act. It does not have a correct wires from the Act. It is not falling within the ambit of section 16 subsection 1. Rule 36(4) does not have a empowering section. So government ने क्या करा, section 216 subsection 2 double clause A introduce किया है इस बजट में, और वो क्या कहता है कि अगर कोई एंट्री नहीं आएगी जो सप्लायर ने नहीं चढ़ाई तो उसका क्रेडिट नहीं मिलेगा. सर उसके बाद क्या 36(4) को लाइफ मिल गई? सर उसके बाद 36(4) की जरूरत ही खत्म हो गई, क्योंकि 36(4) बेचारा आपको 20%, फिर घटा के 10%, फिर 5%, एक परसेंटेज देता था कि इसके बियॉन्ड भी आपको एक रिलीफ मिलेगा. 16(2AA) does not speak about that. It says if the entry is there, you take the credit. If it is not there, forget. So the power, the restriction will only come when 16(2AA) is there. Till date, if you have to contest a case कि कोई entry 2A में नहीं दिख रही, in my humble opinion, there is no bar. If you fulfill your conditions under 16(1), 16(2), you are eligible to get that particular refund. Circular number 135 जो डिपार्टमेंट ने इशू किया था, उसमें डिपार्टमेंट ने कहा कि भाई अगर ये इनवॉइसेस जो 2A में नहीं दिख रही है, अगर वो नहीं anyway and is ultra vires the statute also, right sir? So do not be afraid. अगर कोई ऐसा है, take your legitimate claim, fight that particular claim to before the appellate authorities. It will take some time, but the respite will come in the favor of the taxpayer, right sir? उसके बाद again एक circular आया 139/09. इसने क्या कहा, इसने कहा ये circular does not in any way impact the refund of ITC availed on the invoices or documents relating to imports, ISD invoice, invert, whatever. The treatment of refund of such ITC relating to imports, ISD invoices and invert supplies liable to reverse charge will continue. Meaning thereby जो 135 ने restriction लगाई थी कि अगर कोई 2A में नहीं दिखेगा, तो उसके बाद ऑफिसर्स ने क्या करा था, आपकी जितनी भी रिवर्स चार्ज का टैक्स आपने पे करा, आपने आईएसडी का जो क्लेम लिया वो वाला टैक्स भी, और फॉर दैट मैटर इंपोर्ट का टैक्स भी, उन्होंने कहा ये सारे टैक्स आपने दिख ही नहीं रहे 2A में, और हमारा सर्कुलर कहता है जो 2A में नहीं दिखेगा हम उसका क्रेडिट आपको नहीं देंगे. सो सर उन्होंने इन तीनों का भी मना कर दिया. फिर गवर्नमेंट ने इट हैज बीन काइंड कि चलो सर ये तो छोड़ा, उन्होंने क्लैरिफाई करा कि ये तीनों चीजें, इंपोर्ट का क्रेडिट, रिवर्स चार्ज का क्रेडिट, आईएसडी का क्रेडिट, इनके ऊपर 135 एप्लीकेबल नहीं है. अगर ये 2A में नहीं आ रहे तो भी आपको रिफंड मिल जाएगा. और मैं कह रहा हूँ 2A में नहीं आ रहा, डू नॉट लूज इट, फाइट दैट केस विल कम इनटू योर फेवर सूनर और लेटर, राइट सर? नाउ कमिंग ऑन टू invoices in 2A we have done. Duty drawback claimed at a higher rate initially. Now that was an issue I think most of that issue is now at an appellate stage. What we are contesting is those cases where the customs, the rate of customs has, जो ड्यूटी ड्रॉबैक का क्लेम था उसका जो रेट था वो अगर चेंज नहीं हुआ है, then the claim is only relatable to customs, it is not relatable to GST, and therefore that particular credit, that particular refund cannot be withheld against the assessee. So ये थोड़ा सा एक ticklish issue था. I think that was supplied, that was settled in the case of Abda Kripa. Now that's a very complicated name. I always have to see that name to spell it. It is Avadh Kripa Plastomac Private Limited, Honorable Gujarat High Court. It is a 2021 decision. The Honorable Court was very clear in para 10. The petitioner has exported goods which attract the same rate under both column 4 and 6, that is 2%. Thus, it is evident that petitioner has claimed drawback of the custom component only for their export, and there arises no question of denying any refund of IGST. The rationale for not allowing the refund is for those exporters who claim higher duty drawback. In that particular case, the element of IGST would amount to double benefit. But jahan par there is no higher drawbacks, where the rate is same, this particular case comes as a respite to those particular cases. So किसी ने अगर drawback ले लिया है, डिपार्टमेंट ने सारे ही केसेस को मना कर दिया था. This case came as a respite कि जहां पे दोनों रेट सेम है, there is no benefit of IGST, which has come to the settled decision. VKC Footsteps, again it was a very nice decision. Again, Gujarat High Court, Honorable Gujarat High Court has been very kind in giving a lot of respite in terms of to many SSC. But parallelly, there is one decision, Cosmo Films versus Union of India, which has troubled a lot to the SSC. But it was again from the Honorable Gujarat High Court. The question which was discussed in Cosmo Films Limited was the retrospective amendment by notification number 54 by 2018. So was that particular amendment valid or not? Now, my dear friends, in that particular case, my humble submission is that that particular case never spoke or discussed on the merits. When we speak about the Honorable Gujarat High Court order, it never spoke on the merits, and therefore there is still a litigation which is pending in this particular area under Rule 9610. Cosmo Films will not be held to the detriment of the taxpayers, though the taxpayer need to sort of litigate this in the coming times. बट कॉस्मो फिल्म्स को एक एब्सोल्यूट अथॉरिटी की तरह मत देखिएगा. उसका जो इशू था वो भी रेस्ट्रिक्टिव था. उसके अंदर एडवांस लाइसेंस स्कीम के अंदर जो आईजीएसटी पे किया गया था, द एसएससी वाज नॉट एंटाइटल्ड टू रिफंड ऑफ आईजीएसटी और इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट बैलेंस. दैट वाज द क्वेश्चन. बट सर, व्हाट अबाउट द गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज व्हिच वर other than those which were imported under the advance authorization? So the debate is still on. Cosmo Films was on a very limited aspect, and therefore the Honorable Gujarat High Court should not be seen or should not be read in a manner to have settled the dispute under Rule 9610. Now coming on to one more issue. This was in the case of Sial Duty Free and Retail Services Limited. Manmohan ji, before we take up these 2-3 cases and finally close it with the conclusion, I think we are, what time are we left with? So we have another half an hour.
Right, sir.
So let us do one thing. Let us close on the queries of the members, because we have seen that often the member queries are not addressed. Let us take up the member queries, and then we will talk about again the balance of the issues. The issues, agar aap kehte jayenge, to the issues are never ending. But let us take up the cases which are there with the members first.
Fine.
So
Akashi, should I read from the chat box?
अतिका मैम के पास आई होगी.
Yeah.
अतिका मैम.
There was some network issue, sorry.
Right.
So if any says unit supply goods or scrap to DTA, how we will deal with this transaction in GST? What will be the tax liability for the sales unit, and how this transaction would be shown in GSTR 1 and 3B?
My dear friend, if any supply of goods is made from the SEZ unit to the DTA unit, there is a bill of entry which is being filed at the time of clearance, which is at the customs station. So the receiving unit, which is the DTA unit, will pay the respective duty and get the goods cleared. The SEZ unit pay any duty, it will invoice in your GSTR 1. So this is something which you have to be clear that there is no tax which has to be levied by the SEZ on such particular supply to DTA. But if it is a case of services, then yes, SEZ will have to levy, and that will be shown in GSTR 1 as a taxable supply. So that is the difference between the goods and the services.
So any case law reference for FOB versus CIF valuation refunds?
सर अभी कुछ शुरू हुए हैं केसेस, बन जाएंगे थोड़े दिनों में, हाईकोर्ट तक पहुंचने दीजिए. पिछले 8-9 महीने में अनफॉर्चुनेटली कोई भी cases because of the COVID pandemic. So we have found the entire system has become slow. But yes, this will sooner. There are a lot of cases in the pipeline. We will find a decision soon from Delhi or Gujarat.
So the department is relying on Circular 125 for this FOB conditions. So they are disregarding the GST valuation, transaction value. They are taking the custom valuation for their refund granting.
Sir, that is what I mentioned, that they are taking out things merely without any authority of law. You are granting a refund. Now processing of the IGST paid on the tax duty. Was I lost in between?
Yes, sir.
Right. तो जो टैक्स पेड गुड्स होते हैं उसकी प्रोसेसिंग रिफंड की कस्टम्स के पास होती है. जो एलयूटी के अंदर गुड्स होते हैं उसकी प्रोसेसिंग डोमेस्टिक अथॉरिटीज के पास. बट इन बोथ द केसेस the right to get the refund is drawn by the GST statute only. So that particular valuation which they are drawing from the custom authority, and particularly again what we spoke about 1.5 times, both the cases will go in the favor of the SSC. That's my humble opinion.
Now, during the financial year 18-19, client have uploaded the details of the credit note at the time of the filing of GSTR 1. However, while filing the GSTR 3B, since the amount of credit note uploaded is more than the outward liability available for GSTR 3B, and the portal does not accept the negative amount, and we could not reduce the credit note in 3B, which result in excess payment of GST tax at the time of the filing of 3B. Accordingly, based on this press release dated 3/7/2019, issued by the Central Board of Indirect Tax and Customs, in the terms of para B of the said press release, we would be applying for the refund of the said excess payment of tax after filing for annual return for the financial year 18-19. What is in this case either respective date of filing of the said return or filing of the annual return?
So you are wanting to apply for the refund in this case?
So actually just
Yes.
नहीं, so Akashi, refund के जो conditions हैं उसके बारे में उन्होंने कुछ नहीं बताया है.
Right.
What is the case? If it is a case which is of a valuation, or if it is a case of goods return, what exactly is the case when they are demanding the refund?
Say it if it's a goods return.
Agar if it is a case of goods return, then effectively the sale has been nullified, right, sir? And you
Right.
cannot adjust that particular thing into your subsequent return. The limitation does not bar you, from my humble opinion. It will be the event, which is the return of the goods within 2 years of which you should apply for the refund or adjust your taxes. Right, sir? Do not go by the circular for the very simple reason there is no clear mechanism which has been given in that particular circular. We cannot go round and round into that. The day when we became eligible for that particular refund is the date when we got the goods back. And within 2 years, in my humble opinion, the refund should be applied.
Okay.
So see, Utkarsh Mehta has raised his hand.
Utkarshi, please.
Hello. Sir, in this very regard, which you have said regarding this refund, sir, what if the refund was of not on the basis that first IGST was paid by the taxpayer, and later on he discovered that the supplies that he has made does not attract IGST, it attracts CGST and SGST based on the fact that it was a bill to ship to transaction. So if that 2 years has been passed, so can he adjust that excess paid IGST amount in his later filings, in the later 3Bs or something?
See, there was a circular number 3/3, I think 3/3 2017, which was dated December 2017, which talks about the suo motu adjustments in the subsequent period. दिसंबर 2017 में दिया था क्योंकि 3B एक स्टॉप गैप अरेंजमेंट की तरह आया था डिपार्टमेंट की साइड से, पर 3B became the main return. Right, sir? Now, what has happened is over the period of time, हमारे पास कई limitations आई, जैसे आपने बताया, the taxes could not be subsumed or consumed in 3B, so there was no provision to carry them forward. Department ने इस चीज को भी examine किया, can we allow the negative value into 3B? Now, interestingly, when you allow the negative value into 3B, you are going into the same scenario जो provisional ITC के केस में हुआ था. शुरू में जब provisional ITC सबको दिया गया, what is provisional ITC? 3B के अंदर कोई भी restriction नहीं है कि आप कितना ITC डाल सकते हैं, right sir? So लोगों ने क्या करा, फर्जी ITC डाला और अपने output को adjust किया और आगे चलते चले. Same is the case when there is no check on 3B and you're allowed to put a negative value. State whatever reasons so दे नहीं सकते 3B में. So there was an apprehension in department's mind that people will start putting in negative values and they will start another fraud कि वो उससे अपने output को adjust करते जा रहे हैं and there is a loss to the government exchequer. Therefore, the negative value never started. So 3/3 2017 was way beyond before that, not beyond, before that. तो गवर्नमेंट ने कहा कि आप इसको subsequently आप adjust करते रहिए. In my humble opinion, there is also never a bar कि आप financial year के beyond इसको नहीं ले जा सकते. आप अपनी adjustments को financial year के beyond ले जा सकते हैं. It was a legitimate issue, the legitimate right with you. You have paid an overtax to the government, which is clarified by way of your GSTR 1. I'm not saying claimed on the basis of GSTR 1, but which is clarified on the basis of GSTR 1. So you can subsequently keep on adjusting. It is your choice whether you want a refund or not. But if you're not taking a refund, that will not take away the right of adjustment from the SSC. So in my humble opinion, there is no limit till which you can adjust that particular subsequent, you can adjust that particular excess paid tax, which is in form of a credit note duly reflected in your one. Utkarshi, I hope
Thank you, sir.
the query is
One more,
answered.
Sir. Yes, sir. I have got the answer of my question. But also, sir, I would like to highlight one more thing here. That when we have applied for excess payment of tax refund, specifically when it was made through ITC, the department stated that they don't have any functionality to do so, that they can recredit into the our ITC ledger again. So at that time, they have rejected our refund, and for which we have already appealed. Right, and now on 20th April, an advisory has been released.
Problem is, so Utkarshi,
that advisory has been released.
Please, बताइए.
Yes, sir. So on 20th April, the advisory has been released. Now we are in appeals already, right? And there is no personal hearing held till date. So should we again go back to department if they can just rethink upon the refund that has been rejected on this point?
Sir, there is no provision available with them where they can rethink that particular thing. So the appellate authority is the only respect we have. But yes, when that advisory is with us, and that was a procedural issue, I think February and March in across NCR also, across many states have raised that. I got the queries from we have Haryana was one of the major one, Gurugrams and cities like Faridabad. NCR, entire Delhi was under this issue. Then again, Karnataka was raising this particular point very strongly with the GSTN. So this issue was clarified later, but there were a lot of SSCs where a damage was caused because of that 60 days limit. क्योंकि अथॉरिटी को वो 60 दिन की लिमिट को ध्यान में रखना है, नहीं तो उसकी जेब से वो इंटरेस्ट कल को निकल सकता था. So that is also a fear in the mind of the adjudicating or the proper officers. So that is also a problem with our system. We can't help it. आप appellate के अंदर जीत के you will get your refund. You will receive your refund reinstated into your electronic credit ledger.
सर क्या इसके बेस पे अपन जो प्रोसीजरल पार्ट है कि 2 इयर्स के अंदर ही विद इन 2 इयर्स रिफंड लगाना था, एंड यानी ऐसे हमारे पास में केसेस आए जहां पे हमारे रिफंड बैक टू बैक रिजेक्ट हुआ, तो हमने यही एडवाइजरी को लेने यानी रुके थे कि भाई एडवाइजरी आए, या हमने ग्रीवेंसेस लगाए थे ऑनलाइन. ठीक है, तो अब हमने जैसे उसके एडवाइजरी आने के बाद में अगर किसी को रिफंड को फाइल करते हैं तो डिपार्टमेंट तो शो कॉज में यही कहेगा कि टाइम बार्ड है, तो क्या हम उसको भी फाइट कर सकते हैं आगे अपील्स में?
डेफिनेटली सर, किसने मना किया है? लिमिटेशन को तो आप कभी भी चैलेंज कर सकते हैं.
नहीं,
जैसे लिमिटेशन को आप कभी भी अपील के अंदर लेके जाइए. आप बहुत केसेस में लेके जा रहे हैं. इन वन ऑफ द केसेस इवन इन द कंबाइंड टाइम पीरियड, सो दैट पर्टिकुलर रिफंड सम पोर्शन इज टाइम बार्ड अंडर द लिमिटेशन. मैं तो उसको भी इकट्ठे जो क्लब उसका रिफंड था अनदर एसएससी, we are fighting it because it was practically impossible to segregate the input services during that particular period. It is to be seen holistically. So limitation will start from the last day. So that's also a thought process which we have put in.
एक सर आपने प्रोसीजरल रूल के अगेंस्ट में केस बताया था कि यू कैन गो फॉर प्रोसीजरल रूल, वो केस सर एक मिस हो गया था कि थोड़ा सा वॉइस ब्रेक हुआ था.
उत्कर्ष जी, मैं एक लिबर्टी लूंगा. We have to restrict on
No.
We have to restrict on the number of questions from one person. So जो भी है आप उसको chat box में डालिए. We'll move on to the next person, sir.
Okay,
Otherwise, it has become one-to-one communication between you and me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, sir.
DN खत्री जी.
खत्री साहब बताइए प्लीज.
हाँ सर, मेरा ये अभी क्वेश्चन मैंने पूछा था कि एक मेरे क्लाइंट है, उनकी सेज में यूनिट है और उन्होंने डीटीए को सप्लाई किया. उस समय क्या आपका साउंड पूरा प्रॉपर आया नहीं, कट गया था, इसलिए फिर मैंने रेज हैंड किया है. तो सर वो थोड़ा मुझे क्लियर करेंगे क्या सर? सेज यूनिट है, वो डीटीए को सप्लाई की,
एससीजेड यूनिट से डीटीए को गुड्स सप्लाई करे हैं, तो उन गुड्स को एट द कस्टम बैरियर जो रिसिपिएंट है बिल ऑफ एंट्री के तहत उसको क्लियर करेगा और उस पे प्रॉपर ड्यूटी टैक्स पे करेगा. अगर आपने सर्विसेज दी हैं तो SEZ unit will raise a invoice charging GST on such particular services invoice.
ठीक है.
So goods जो है GSTR 1 के अंदर taxable supply में नहीं आएंगे. Services from a SEZ unit to a DTA unit आपके GSTR 1 के अंदर taxable supply में आएंगे. So that is what I clarified.
तो सर उससे जो अमाउंट मिला है वो जैसे बुक्स में रिफ्लेक्ट तो होगा ही जो डीटीए ने अपने को पेमेंट किया है, तो क्या नॉन जीएसटी सप्लाई में या कहीं 3B में कहीं शो करने वाला है क्या सर नॉन जीएसटी सप्लाई में? हेलो
सर, आप उसको नॉन जीएसटी सप्लाई में दे दीजिए. उसको नॉन जीएसटी सप्लाई में दे दीजिए. खत्री साहब, आई थिंक योर सिग्नल इज नॉट प्रॉपर.
अच्छा, तो सर जैसे 3B में और 3B और 1 में जैसे नॉन जीएसटी सप्लाई में दिखा सकते हैं क्या?
हाँ प्लीज दिखा दीजिए. वो टैक्सेबल सप्लाई नहीं है. And,
okay.
You can't even call it as an exempted supply. So you put it into non-GST supply.
हाँ, और दूसरा सर जो जब DTA वो जो होगा तो टैक्स लायबिलिटी डीटीए पे करेगा ना, जब कस्टम से क्लियरेंस जो करेंगे उस समय जो आप बता रहे हैं कि जो ड्यूटी देनी है वो तो डीटीए को पे करनी है ना वो। हेलो,
वो रिसिपिएंट की ड्यूटी है, वो रिसिपिएंट की ड्यूटी,
हाँ
वो
वहां पे
रिसिपिएंट की
हमारा
ड्यूटी
कोई,
है सर।
ठीक है ठीक, ओके सर, ओके, थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू।
प्लीज प्लीज।
ये हेतल भानु जी।
हाँ हेतल जी बताइए।
Sir, if I have done export of services, rest of the condition has been fulfilled. That is, I have realized money in foreign currency, and other POS and everything is also fulfilled. Only thing is that I have not taken LUT for those years, and now I cannot take because portal is not allowing. So I feel this is a procedural lapse. So what would be the repercussion, and how we can take it in our favor? Any circular or judgment for this?
See, there was a clarification which allowed the post facto issuance of this one LUT in case of exporters. But that was in 2017 when it was a new law and things were not settled, right? But LUT jo miss kar gaye, my humble suggestion would be that they should also refer to that particular circular कि हमसे ये LUT एक प्रोसीजर लैप्स हुआ है. It is I think that was circular number 8 by 2017. If you look into that particular circular, you will get that particular benefit or that particular language कि ये जो जिन्होंने नहीं अप्लाई किया टाइम से, it is a procedural and that circular was very clear in mentioning कि अगर किसी ने LUT टाइम से नहीं करा, it's merely a procedural lapse and should not be seen as a substantial condition restricting the refund. So ये आप वहां से borrow कर सकते हैं. I am putting you the reference. You can see, just 1 second. You can see para 4.1. It is emphasized that the substantive benefit of zero rating may not be denied, where it is established that the export in terms of relevant provision has been made. The delay in furnishing LUT in such cases may be condoned, and the facility for export under LUT may be allowed ex post facto basis taking into account the facts and circumstances of each case. Refer circular number 37 by 11 by 2018. GST dated March 15, 2018.
But here the word use has been delayed. I have not taken only sir till date.
So ma'am, एक apply कर दीजिए हेतल जी. Just put a small application. Portal is not allowed, but
Yeah.
manual application can be filed.
Okay.
Right. So this particular paragraph will substantiate in those particular cases.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
So, during the financial year, one of the questions, during the financial year 18-19, clients have uploaded the details of the credit note at the time of the filing of GSTR 1. However, since the amount of credit note uploaded is more than the outward tax liability available with GSTR 3B, and
I think this was the case of Utkarsh ji. Atika ji, Utkarsh ji has already discussed this case.
ये हो चुका है.
Yeah, similar, right.
How is again the same now? How is the GST liability to be ascertained export through when the DTA exports goods through sales under third-party exports without clearing it for home consumption?
I think is it done or we need to take it again?
अतिका जी एक बार ये क्वेश्चन रिपीट करिए. SEZ and DTA.
GST liability to be ascertained when DTA exports goods through SEZ under third-party exports without clearing it for home consumption.
नहीं, so किसका क्वेश्चन है? थोड़ा इसके फैक्ट्स के अंदर there is a so it was written in a very brief manner. If you can allow that person to speak the query, then we can address this.
Nikita ji, Nikita Timani ji, please.
If you can raise hand.
I think we can move on to the next question.
Next question. Right.
जहाँ पे फैक्ट्स की कमी होगी वो क्वेश्चन आंसर नहीं हो सकता.
I think Nikita ji आ गई. Nikita ji, please ask your question.
निकिता जी बताइए please.
There is this SEZ unit and there is this DTA unit. DTA unit is exporting goods through SEZ, and this is under third party export, wherein the goods are not getting cleared for home consumption, and directly through the SEZ port, the goods are being exported.
So
to the
SEZ unit has sold to the DTA unit, but it is going to a third party outside India.
Yeah.
ठीक है जी, that is there.
हाँ, तो फिर इस केस में जो but actually there are two transactions involved. One is DTA is exporting it to the person outside India, which is in US. And
shipping
there is
bill
a
किसके नाम पे है? Sorry, Nikita जी, shipping bill किसके नाम पे है?
To the party in US.
No. Who is the person who is exporter in the shipping bill from India?
It is like
unit or that
the DTA unit is the what is the term is merchant exporter here. Hello, is my voice clear?
Yeah, clear.
Yes.
Am I audible?
हाँ
निकिता जी बोलिए.
Basically it is like I receive an order from US, and I am a DTA unit. I place the order to the SEZ unit. The SEZ unit is preparing the concerned good, and it is delivering the good to the SEZ port. Okay, and whereas this DTA unit is sending its bill to billing ship of billing to US to the concerned export port of the SEZ owner. तो वहां से एक्सपोर्ट डायरेक्टली हो रहा है. अब जो SEZ ने एक्चुअली क्या हुआ है, दो ट्रांजैक्शंस इन्वॉल्व है इसमें. फर्स्टली तो है ना, पहले तो गुड्स है ना SEZ DTA यूनिट SEZ यूनिट से गुड प्रोक्योर कर रही है, बट वो गुड DTA यूनिट में आ ही नहीं रहा, वो डायरेक्टली एक्सपोर्ट के लिए जा रहा है. एंड जो बिल रेज हुआ है वो है ना US में जो पार्टी है उनके नाम से बिल रेज हुआ. तो इस केस में मेरा ये डाउट था कि जब ये जो ट्रांजैक्शन हुआ है बिटवीन SEZ एंड DTA, तो उसमें GST की क्या लायबिलिटी रहेगी?
देखिए, from the SEZ to DTA there is no liability because at the time when the goods would have crossed the custom barrier, the DTA unit was supposed to pay. ये same query आपने अभी सुना हो तो खत्री साहब ने करी थी, if I'm not wrong.
Right.
अब customs का कोई बैरियर बीच में क्रॉस नहीं हुआ, so bill of entry फाइल नहीं होगी. SEZ की कोई अलग लायबिलिटी नहीं. DTA ने अगर शिपिंग बिल फाइल कर दिया है and the goods are exported out of India, it will get the benefit of the entire export in its name. SEZ will not get the benefit in that particular case. So for SEZ it is a no supply, but for the DTA it will become an export of goods. Is there any dilemma still left in this particular case, Nikita ji?
No sir, my query has been answered. Thank you so much.
Now, a person has applied for the refund of excess balance in cash ledger on 30th May 2019, the status of which is showing processed, and it has not been sanctioned till now. Since no order has been passed, it cannot be appealed. What are the legal remedies available to him? Whenever he talks to the concerned jurisdictional CTO, they always tell that they will do it soon.
Sir, start writing a letter to the concerned CTO. I can tell you that will make a difference. In very recent case, in one of the cases, the letter to the CTO and his additional commissioner was material and brought to the authorities. There was no respite, but when he started writing to the authorities, the action was taken because within 60 days that order has to be there. So you please mention those facts very, very strongly in the letter. I'm not saying one cannot be strong and bold. Be strong and bold, but be humble. And then put your point and fight out your case if you want. Adhika, can we take the next question?
Yeah, there's one. Someone has asked for the same instruction 95 impact on GST on CAM. This is question.
I don't know what is CAM actually.
This is from Abhishek Agarwal ji.
Can take question from Sudhanshu ji, Sudhanshu Joshi. He has raised his hand.
Okay.
Sudhanshu ji, please.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Ji.
Sir, in one of my refund cases, actually the tax liability and comparison chart coming on the jurisdictional officer's dashboard, the GST, the ITC as per GSTR 2 in that in some of months is coming as negative. So thereby the total ITC has been done as a negative, whereas if we are downloading the GSTR 2A complete 2A from the portal, there is no higher amounts of credit notes, thereby totaling the ITC as negative. So what has to be done in that case? Actually, they are rejected a refund, and it is still not credited into our credit ledger also.
So Sudhanshu, that will be credited to your credit ledger. More particularly, abhi thoda sa COVID period ke karan the processing has not been done by the jurisdictional officer, and they also have got a time frame extension till 15 June. Notification number 14 by 2021. जो ये केस है ये कोई मतलब बहुत रेयर केसेस में बट सामने आया, बट दिस इज इन द केसेस वेयर देयर इज अ टाइम डिफरेंस between the 2A which is provided to the officer by the GSTN, and thereafter the uploading has been done by the person who is a supplier to such particular person who is claiming the refund. Right. So एक बार ये check कर लीजिएगा कि whether that particular person has properly uploaded within time, number one. Even if I'm not going into whether if he has done it in time or not, but I'm just putting thoughts to you because it is pure procedural. Right. This problem is because of a time difference between the data which has been extracted into the portal of the officer and vis-a-vis the current live position of that 2A. Right. You will get a respite in the appellate level for sure. But before that, you just please be very sure that whatever is you are showing, what is the exact dates of those particular filings so that you can put your facts better before the appellate authority. That is okay. But you will have to go for the appellate proceedings, sir, in this case.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Mitesh Doshi, I suppose.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, Mitesh ji, please.
Sir, I just wanted to know, in case of unregistered persons, example, a person had booked a flat. However, after 1.5 years, wherein a credit note could not be issued by the builder, he had cancelled the flat. So whether he can apply for refund? If yes, sir, how an unregistered person practically do that? Because in service tax, we have favorable judgments wherein an unregistered person could apply. But in GST, in an application made, a letter was filed wherein it was said that you may apply for the refund online. But since there is no procedure to file online, what is the remedy available to the customer?
Mitesh, you have actually, along with the problem, you have also given the solution. You have referred to the right things, and I'm referring to one of the cases, Suresh Kumar Bansal versus Union of India, Delhi High Court. Again, in that particular case, the issue was same in case of a builder, the amount of tax which is to be refunded to the person. So that application has to be manually placed. If they are giving you a letter, kindly refer them section 54 stating that there is no facility provided online to an unregistered person for claiming such a kind of a refund, because he is ultimately the person who has borne the taxes. And therefore, in this particular case, kindly process the application or reject the application.
Okay, okay.
So you have every right to reject the application. Thereafter, we take it forward into the appellate proceedings. Okay. This problem is a omnipresent problem. I can tell you that because this is happening in case of many of the builders. So while the 2-year time frame has not lapsed, the builders are reluctant to apply for the refund in these cases. I'm telling you that also. So in one of the cases, we had suggested that the builder should go for the refund rather than the unregistered person. The builders should take an undertaking, but builders are afraid that we will get the amounts which we are paying to that particular person will get blocked, and tomorrow we might have to bear the same. Neither we can recover it from the person to whom we have given, nor we will get a refund back from the department. So they are also under their own apprehensions. So this is one problem where the recipient can also go for a refund. You have plethora of judgments in the past. I think GST needs one respite from any of the honorable items.
Thank you. That was, sir, very deliberately explained. Sir, just one small clarification in this. Ki a letter stating that you have to apply for refund online from the department authority. Is it appealable, sir? Only a letter. It's not an order.
No. You please reply back that thank you for clarifying the procedural aspect. However, in absence of any facility on the portal, the same, you please consider our application, pass a proper order, accepting or rejecting our claim.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, I think we'll take the last query from Yash Garg. Yash, are you there?
Good evening, sir. Sir, continuing with the same issue, as you said, his voice is audible.
Yes. Very much
sir,
audible.
continuing with the same issue, as you said, in many of the cases, we ask builders to apply for the refund. In my case also, we asked the builder to apply for the refund, and they also received the refund. But after 2 to 3 months, the department passed an order rejecting the refund on a basis that you have utilized the input tax credit for paying the amount for discharging your liability, and they are reclaiming back the refund with interest.
See, the refund was supposed to be credited into their electronic credit ledger rather than cash. Okay. So the issue is not of refund, but the whether it is to be credited to the cash or electronic credit ledger. So your case is not a refund issue, but the mechanism issue.
Yes.
So you will write back to them stating that if you credit it back to our credit ledger, we will be glad to give you the amount, whatever has been received in cash.
And so,
but without interest.
Okay, yes, without interest. Okay.
Because that is not the SSC's error. It was the error on the part of the department, and if they are claiming or rectifying any mechanism. So it was a rightful claim, but wrongful processing. There is a difference. Only a wrongful claim can be recovered along with interest. A rightful claim, because of wrong processing, cannot be put to the detriment of the taxpayer.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Now, with this, I would ask Akash Bargoti to present the vote of thanks.
First of all, I would like to give a big thank you to Gaurav Gupta sir for giving us the precious time to Jaipur branch, and thank you to all the participants, and a big thank you to our today's moderator C. Atika Agarwal, and also to our keynote speaker C. Manmohan Mahipal ji. Before this ending this situation, I would like to say kal ka jo apna session hai, that is from 12 to 2. Not regular 4 to 6. So I think all the participants जो अभी देख रहे हैं, so tomorrow's session is from 12 to 2 and not 4 to 6. So just mind it. कहीं भी किसी भी कंफ्यूजन से अगर कहीं 4 to 6 आ जाए, पता लगा सेशन ही नहीं चल रहा. So JK Mittal sir का सेशन है. I think one should attend this session, है ना? So this is the thing. Thank you, a big thank you to again Gaurav Gupta ji for giving his precious time, and for not only giving his guide on the litigation, but also on the some of the procedural parts जहाँ पे हो सकता है डिपार्टमेंट्स की गलती है या कहीं ना कहीं अपनी क्लाइंट अपन एज अ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट अपन गलती कर रहे हैं. तो बिग थैंक यू वेरी मच सर. राइट.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Akashi. Thank you, Manmohan ji, to the entire Jaipur branch, all the members. It was a wonderful session with you. I think very sessions are more inquisitive, and learning is more in those particular sessions rather than those typical sessions where we don't take up issues, but we stick to the procedures and stuff.
Right.
You know, the legal aspects also. So if it is more issue based, I think that is now we are into the time frame when we only should discuss the issues rather than the law. So
definitely,
thanks.
Sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Jaipur branch, for the entire.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Deb.